Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at a very special watch. Today we're going to review the Vario 1918 trench watch. This is an unusual and quite remarkable watch, so let's get into it. So before we get into the details of this watch, I really wanted to do a big shout out to Ivan from Vario Watches, who has very kindly loaned me this watch for review. One of the things I've always enjoyed about the hobby, this mad hobby that we're all involved in, is the community that surrounds it. And I've been very lucky over the 4 or 5 years that I've been involved, before I started my watch channel even, of meeting and corresponding with really nice people. And to that list I now add Ivan. He's been a true gentleman in how he has dealt with me, clearly an enthusiast, and it's great to know that there are people who share our passion out there as well. So Ivan, a big thank you. Let's get on with the watch. So the watch itself comes in this really useful, what I call egg pouches. I know they're not egg pouches, obviously it's just a really good carrying case. Really nice branded canvas style as well, and really good for protecting your watches. I have to say, really heavily padded. There's a little meshed area, and the watch did also come with a very nice single pass brown leather NATO strap with Vario branding on it. There it is. I can see it. There it is. And actually a decent length as well. That's a good 27-28 centimetres. So it comes with packaging and the extra strap. So we're going to run very briefly through the specifications before we get into the details. This is the 40mm version. It has a really remarkable enamel, cream coloured enamel dial. It has cathedral hands, hour hand and minute hand. I like particularly the way the hour hand stretches right the way out to the minute track, so there's a minute track all the way around, but that needle on the hour hand stretches all the way out, and a second hand sub dial. Now I've gone away to try and find out what that typeface, what that font is, and I can't quite nail it down what it is, other than it's lovely, and it is also done with that C3 Fotina. So we're going to come to the Lume a little bit later, but if any viewers know what that font is, please just drop it in the comments. It's been driving me crazy. I've been all over Google completely unsuccessfully, so it'd be great to hear from that. The watch itself, whilst it looks quite chunky because it's on this very nice, sorry, I'm not showing this very well. It's on a very nice green bund strap, which fits the watch absolutely perfectly. I mean, I have to say the quality of the straps is absolutely amazing. And it has the fully enclosed wire lugs. The watch itself, as we say, is 40mm. It's about 11mm thickness, although clearly that bund strap adds a couple of extra millimeters underneath that. We have a beautifully signed crown, which is really nice, and just look at that domed crystal. So what we have is a double domed sapphire crystal. That's a 2mm double dome. Just gorgeous, and gives you a little bit of distortion around the edges. Absolutely outstanding. And an onion style crown as well. So let's get into the specifications of the watch. So first up, apologies, I have no idea why the watch is changing colour in this video. The dial width is 40mm, it has a lug-to-lug of 48mm and a lug width of 20mm, and the watch thickness without the strap is 10mm. The movement inside is the particularly nice Miyota 82 S5. This weighs in at about 120 grams, has water resistance of 100 metres, although clearly with this lovely strap you're not taking it anywhere in the water anytime soon. And it comes with a beautiful double domed sapphire crystal that really just adds to the look of the whole thing. So let's talk about the things that I'm not a big fan of on this watch, and this is not going to take long. So the first one, I think my observation, you will have just seen the Lume shot, is I think the Lume is okay, and the Lume on the hands is reasonably good, but the hands on the numerals does fade very, very quickly. And so whilst the hands will hang around and you will be able to tell the time at night with it, the Lume on the numerals clearly won't last the evening. So that's the first one. And the second one, and I would comment on any watch that had this, but this comes with a 1-year international warranty. For me, for this sort of price, I do kind of expect that it will come with a minimum of a 2-year warranty. I entirely understand that's an economic argument, but I would comment on that on any other watch. But that's it in terms of the negatives. So in terms of the positive things that I really like about this watch, I'll start with the sapphire crystal, the double dome sapphire crystal. I don't know if you need me to say this, but that is absolutely remarkable. I do like a nice dome sapphire crystal, mostly because I am, as I've said elsewhere, a clumsy gowk, and I do have a tendency of whacking into things. So it's always good to see sapphire crystal on the watch. But I particularly like the domed effect of this. It does give the overall look of the shape of the profile of the watch a slight sort of cooking pot look to it. I don't mean that disrespectful. It just does look vaguely like a little bit like a cauldron, and I'm not sure that the double dome sapphire crystal doesn't add to that effect. But I think that's a good thing. I think it's distinctive, and it certainly sets the watch off really well. The second thing I really like actually is the finishing. So sorry, it's going sideways again. It really has a very nice brushed bezel all the way around the outside. And then around the rest of the case, there's this really, really nice horizontal brushing. It's really effective. And what it means is that there's a little bit of glint occasionally when it catches the light. But I guess, true to its form, you wouldn't want to be fighting a war with this, with it flashing light every time. So for me, I think that really does keep the aesthetic in line with its original intention. But it is just really, really good all the way around. The lugs themselves are slightly shiny, and that bezel is a little bit shiny too. But it does feel like a quality product, and the finishing really does back that up. Third thing I like about it is a strap. Now I have to say, when this arrived, I did have slightly bated breath, because the website itself said that it might not fit somebody with a wrist size of over 7.5 inches. And as everybody knows, I'm a gorilla. Therefore, there was a real risk that I would not be able to wear this lovely watch. But fortunately, I just about got away with it. I have to wear it on my right hand because I have a slightly thicker left wrist. Don't ask me why. I just do. However, it does fit. So I'm just going to quickly show it to you on wrist. So there you go. So I am on the last hole. And I can only just tuck it into the retainers, but it does fit. So I think it probably does slightly more than a 7.5 inch wrist. It is on the slightly tighter side, and I think if I owned one, I would probably put another hole in at the end, or alternatively, I could have just swapped this one out and put it through the other strap that came with the watch. But I rather like this forest green colour. I think it goes really well with the cream dial. The strap is gorgeous and it does fit. Well, it fits my right wrist anyway. So the next thing I wanted to comment on was the dial. So I think this particular colour combination of that slightly yellow numerals against a cream dial with cream hands is just gorgeous. Because it's enamel dial, it has a sumptuous to it as well. It's just really good. It's distinctive. I've not seen anything else like this. Dare I say that it's unique. And clearly this Art Deco style period watch is a very keen trait in Vario watches. And I'm thinking to others like the Vario Empire, which has that Art Deco styling to it. The final thing I like about this is that it is a very modern interpretation. So in the summary, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the watch, but this wears brilliantly. But it's got all of the requirements of a modern watch. It has a very decent movement. which is the Miyota 82S5, 21,000 beats, power reserve of 40 hours plus, sapphire crystal, and a really robust sapphire crystal at that. Has a screw down crown, water resistance at 100 meters. I might be making that up, but it has all the features of a modern watch in a package that looks like something from the early 20th century. And just to confirm how much it looks like something from the earliest 20th century, I sent a picture of this to my dad, saying, "Oh, what do you think of this trench watch?" And his response was that really from the trenches then? So I think it has that look that makes it feel like a vintage watch, but it has all of the modern qualities that you would expect to see in a watch as well. Right, I'm going to have a go at summing this one up. So I think this watch represents a snapshot of a time and place in history, Northern Europe between 1914 and 1918, and it captures the spirit of that remarkably. I mean, really remarkably. It has a level of authenticity that really would make you think that this was a watch from that time period. It wears remarkably as well. When it turned up, I thought, oh, I'll have a look at that. Immediately put it on my wrist, and it has stayed there pretty much for the week that I've been looking at it and trying to get my head around it and review it. It feels incredibly solid, and I'm never going to be able to explain that to you over a video, but take my word for it, when this is on your wrist, it's not light, it's not a heavy watch, it's not a light watch either, but it just has a solidity to it that is fantastic. It feels very comforting that it's there, and that may well sound like arrant nonsense to some people, but I'm just explaining what the feel of this is like. We often talk about the X factor without actually being able to say what it is about that. That's why we call it the X factor. It's an unknown quality that has more of a feel. Whatever you might think the X factor is, this watch has it. It has it in spades. It's characterful, it's playful, but respectful of the history that it is imitating. And I think that's quite a special outcome. So for me, I've just been thrilled to get the opportunity to review it. Wearing it has been an absolute joy. It will be a sad day when I have to put it in the packaging and send it back. So there may well be an order in the offering, because I've kind of got used to this thing now. I've kind of got used to this being around. So I'm going to wrap it up there. This is a fantastic watch. I would recommend people look at it. It will have to go on a shopping list along with the Art Deco Green Empire, which I think is just sensational. And unfortunately I can't get my hands on one at the moment. Very, very frustrating. But good things come to those who wait. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed the experience of this watch. Lots more content coming over the next few weeks. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a comment. Please give a thumbs up. If you didn't, then tell me why. Which leaves me just to say, have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to go off and watch the rest of the cricket today, which will mean nothing to quite a lot of you. And then just to finally say a big thank you to Ivan for allowing me the opportunity to review this watch. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It will be making its way back to you shortly, sir. You are a gent. Everybody, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.